K-dramas have become a global cultural bridge. But sometimes, that bridge has cracks. One such recent incident is MBC's To the Moon, set to premiere on September 19, 2025. Its teaser was taken down after backlash for mixing Middle Eastern outfits with the bindi, a sacred Indian symbol. I'll be speaking mainly from an Indian perspective because that's my lived reality. But I know India isn't the only culture that has faced this issue. Other communities have also been misrepresented in K-dramas. I may not be the one to tell all their stories, but someone has to speak up. And this isn't the first time. Controversies like To the Moon or Netflix's Genie Make-A-Wish show how cultural borrowing without context can spark global debates. The Korean wave, or Hallyu, has transformed South Korea into a cultural superpower. A 2019 Korean Foundation report estimated over 89 million fans in 113 countries, and by 2019, cultural exports tied to Hallyu generated $21.5 billion in tourism revenue. Shows like Squid Game and Crash Landing on You are no longer niche, they are global phenomena. But global reach comes with global scrutiny. Every costume, name, and cultural reference is now under the lens of millions of international viewers. When K-dramas were primarily domestic, misrepresentations were less visible. Today, even small oversights can spark global discussion. One such recent incident is To the Moon, set to premiere on September 19, 2025. It stars Lee Sunbin, Ra Mi-ran, and Jo Aram as three working-class women exploring cryptocurrency for a better life. The actual storyline is set in a Korean confectionery company where the leads turn to crypto investments to survive. But the first teaser, released on August 20th, told a very different story. Instead of highlighting this plot, the teaser showed the three women dressed in Arabian Nights costumes wearing bindis, a sacred Indian symbol, while dancing choreography that blended belly dance with Hawaiian hula. The imagery looked more like a mashup of Aladdin, Bollywood, and a tourist show than a reflection of the drama itself. The backlash was immediate. The bindi, for example, has deep spiritual significance in Hinduism, symbolizing protection and marital status. Using it alongside belly dancing and hula felt not just random but superficial. Many Arab viewers also pointed out the irony. Koreans often object when mistaken for Chinese or Japanese, yet here multiple cultural traditions were lumped together without care. Even Korean fans expressed disappointment, showing that this wasn't just an outsiders versus insiders debate, it struck a chord at home too. MBC quickly removed the teaser and issued an apology, explaining that it was meant as a parody of 1980s-1990s ice cream commercials. They clarified the drama itself had nothing to do with the imagery. While the apology was swift, many felt that brushing it off as a small oversight missed the bigger issue. Why was such imagery used in the first place when it had no connection to the story? Because let's be honest, this wasn't a case of trying hard and getting it wrong. It felt more like using stereotypes for comedy or visual punch, careless, even mocking in some ways. And when a show is backed by a major broadcaster like MBC, the responsibility is higher. Now, personally, I'm not someone who nitpicks every single cultural misstep. My motto has always been live and let live. People should be free to express, believe, and live the way they want. That's how I see things. But when it comes to global media, especially something as influential as K-dramas, it's important to remember that millions are watching. What might feel like a harmless gag in Korea can be deeply offensive elsewhere. That's why sensitivity matters. And then there's Netflix Genie Make-A-Wish, premiering October 3rd, 2025. It's a fantasy rom-com starring Kim Woo-bin and Bae Suzy. The teaser, released August 20th, shows Woo-bin's genie introducing himself as Iblis. For Muslim audiences, this struck a sensitive chord. In Islamic tradition, Iblis is equivalent to Satan, a figure symbolizing disobedience and evil. Representing Iblis as a charming genie felt disrespectful to the faith. Koreaboo reported that Muslim viewers worldwide criticized the teaser, saying it trivialized a religious figure. Korean audiences were less sympathetic, comparing it to Western shows like Lucifer, where Satan is often portrayed as a charismatic anti-hero. But the contexts differ. Christianity in Western media is often secularized, while Iblis remains a sacred figure for nearly 2 billion Muslims. Netflix has not removed the teaser or issued an apology. The silence fueled further criticism, signaling to many that international concerns were not being fully considered. Both To the Moon and Genie Make-A-Wish highlight how cultural borrowing without context can go wrong. In one case, Hindu, Arab, and Hawaiian imagery were combined carelessly. In the other, the sacred name Iblis was used without regard for its meaning. These missteps reveal limited cultural literacy within the Korean entertainment industry, which, while highly innovative, remains largely homogeneous. In fact, a KOCA 2023 study found that only 15% of K-drama teams consult cultural experts, even though 70% of their shows are aimed at global audiences. This gap matters because global platforms mean global scrutiny. With Netflix's 260 million subscribers, even a single teaser can spark viral debates on TikTok and Twitter, as we've seen here. At the same time, accountability has been inconsistent. MBC quickly apologized and removed the content while Netflix stayed silent, raising questions about respect and responsiveness toward global audiences. Yet there are positive examples that prove a better path is possible. Pachinko sensitively portrayed Korean-Japanese history and earned worldwide praise, while K-pop Demon Hunters carefully researched Southeast Asian mythology before production. Both show that when creativity is balanced with respect, representation can feel authentic and powerful. The key takeaways from these controversies are clear. Cultural expertise is no longer optional. Consulting advisors is essential for international storytelling, with Disney's Mufasa 2024 standing out as a strong model. At the same time, creativity and responsibility must go hand in hand. Bold narratives are vital, but they require careful handling when portraying underrepresented cultures or religions. The audience's influence cannot be underestimated either, as Statista 2024 notes that 60% of Netflix's K-drama viewers are outside Asia, meaning global fans hold real power over success or backlash. To avoid future controversies, production teams should invest in research from the earliest stages and involve cultural consultants throughout the process. Diversify creative teams by including writers, directors, and producers from different backgrounds, and implement sensitivity guidelines similar to the BBC's diversity protocols. Transparent responses to mistakes are equally important, as they help rebuild trust, while thoughtful storytelling, like Extraordinary Attorney Woo's sensitive portrayal of autism, shows how complex issues can be explored with respect and depth. These lessons are not just creative but also economic. As the cancellation of Joseon Exorcist demonstrated, cultural missteps can cost millions in revenue and damage reputations. As K-dramas continue to cross borders, every misstep becomes a chance to learn, both for creators and for viewers. If stories are windows into culture, the real challenge is ensuring those windows remain open and honest without distorting the view.